In the previous classes, we were discussing regarding how we need to calculate the area and volume by using the different methods. The area we are going to calculate by using your mid-ordinate rule, average ordinate rule, then Simpson's one-third rule. Then your volume can be calculated by your prismoidal method or trapezoidal formula. Now, in today's class, we will be seeing regarding one of the important aspect of your surveying is we are going to study regarding the planimeter. Okay. Now, this regarding the speaking to regarding this planimeter. Now, what is nothing but a planimeter? As the name is indicating, it is a planimeter. Now, this particular instrument we call it as a planimeter. Okay. Now, planimeter is an instrument which is going to measure the area of the plan of any shape very accurately. Okay. Now, what this planimeter does is it is going to measure the area of a plan, right? It is going to measure the area of a plan of any shape. Okay, it might be rectangular, it might be trapezoidal, it might be circular, or might be it is going to have the irregular shape like this. Okay, so if you are going to have any plan, right, what it does is it is going to give the area of that particular plan very accurately. So where we are going to use the instrument is by looking or by seeing the plan, right? By seeing the plan, if we want to measure the area of that plan, right, what we use is we will be using the instrument called as an planimeter. Okay, we will be using the instrument by planimeter. It is going to measure the area of any shape of any plan, right? Any shape, right? It is going to measure the area very accurately. So this is regarding the planimeter. Now there are two types of planimeter. Now there are the one is the Amsler polar planimeter and the other one is your roller planimeter. Out of this, the polar planimeter, right, this Amsler polar planimeter we will be commonly we are going to use, and we will be discuss regarding this planimeter in detail in today's class. Okay. Now this particular figure, it is going to show the various parts of the planimeter. Okay, it is here as you are going to see in this particular figure, right? Here you can see the two arms, that is one is the anchor arm and one is the tracing arm. Okay, then the one of the it consists of two arms, that is the hinged at a point known as a pivot point. Okay, one of the two arms, right, the out of the two arms, right, one arm is called as an anchor, right, one arm is called as an anchor arm. Okay, now this it is going to be known as, it is going to be anchored at the one end and it is known as an anchor arm. Okay, the length of this particular anchor bar is generally it is going to be fixed, right, but in some planimeter a variable length of the anchor arm is going to be provided. Now this anchor arm, as the name is going to indicating, the anchor arm, right, it is going to hold the surface very tightly, so that when this tracing point, when it is going to move, right, it is going to hold the surface, hold the instrument properly. Okay, now the other arm, this particular arm, whatever we are going to see, this we call it as an tracing arm. Okay, this we call it as an tracing, this particular arm we call it as an tracing arm. Now the length of this tracing arm can be divided by means of a fixed screw corresponding to the screw motion. It is the length of this arm, it is going to be controlled by the momentum of the fixed screw point. Okay, motion of the screw point. Now the tracing point is going to be moved along the boundary of the plan area, which has to be determined. Now what it does is, this particular tracing arm, right, this particular tracing arm, suppose if you want to measure, right, if you want to measure the area of this particular plan. Now what this tracing arm will do is, if we will recognize the one starting point, and then it is going to move around this particular area and the disk, right? What this tracing arm will do is, the tracing arm will be moving around this particular plan. Here the starting point of this tracing arm will be fixed over here when it is going to have the readings. Then what this tracing arm will do is, this tracing arm will be moving around the boundary line, and then again it is going to, when it is going to come at the center, the measuring of the area of that plan will be get over. Now we will discuss how it is going to measure the plan. Okay, the tracing arm is moved along the boundary of the plan of the area which has to be determined. The normal displacement of the tracing arm is going to be measured by the wheel axis. Okay, now if it is going to be, how much distance it is going to move, it is going to be covered by this wheel axis, which we are going to see, which is going to be kept parallel to the tracing arm. The wheel may be, okay, the wheel may be either, maybe it is going to be placed between the hinge and the tracing point, right? It is going to be placed between the hinge and the tracing point. The wheel carries the concentric drum. This is going to carry the concentric drum, which is divided into the 100 divisions. Okay, this particular drum, the whatever the moment it is going to be there on this wheel, it is going to be passed to this drum. The wheel is going to carry the carries a concentric drum, which is going to be divided into the 100 division. The small vernier attached near the drums, okay, the small vernier which is going to be attached near the drums, 1/10 of the drum division. The complete revolution of the wheel are read on the disc, okay, actuated by the suitable gearing of the wheel. Whatever the wheel it is going to move, it is going to be shifted on the drums. Okay, each reading is going to give you, each reading is of the 4 digits. It is going to give you the 4 digits, the units being read on the disc. Okay, the readings whatever you are going to get, it is read on the disc, and the 1/10 of the readings on the drum, the thousands of the vernier. Whatever the readings that the drum is going to give, those readings which can be read on the drum by using the magnifying glass. Okay, by using the magnifying glass. In addition to this, a fixed index near the disc can be utilized to know the number of the times the zero of the disc has crossed the index. Now here what we need to keep in our mind is how many times that the zero has passed while measuring the your reading, that we need to see. We need to see, I'll repeat, we need to see a fixed index near how many times the zero has crossed near the index, we need to measure it. Okay, now the planimeter rests on 3 points, that is one tracing point, on one an anchor and one on the wheel. Okay, now out of these 3, the anchor point remains fixed in position. This anchor point, it is going to be remain fixed in the position while the wheel is going to be rolling partly around the tracing point, okay, along the boundary, and this is going to tracing point is going to move along the boundary. Okay, since the plane of the wheel is kept perpendicular to the center line of the arm, the wheel measures only the normal displacement when it is going to roll. Actually, it is going to measure the normal displacement when it is going to roll actually. Okay, to find the area of the plan, the anchor point is either it is going to be placed outside, okay, it is going to be placed outside if the area that has to be measured, if it is small, or it is going to be placed inside if the area is going to be larger. Whatever, if we are going to measure the small area, then this anchor part is going to be kept outside, and if the area is too large, then it will be kept inside the area itself. Okay, a point is marked on a boundary line. Okay, a point is going to be, as I have told, a point is going to be marked on a boundary line, tracing kept exactly over it. The initial reading of the wheel has to be taken when we are going to keep this tracing point on the starting of the plan. Okay, the initial reading of on this wheel or this disc, we need to measure it when we exactly keep this tracing point at a starting point. Okay, the initial reading of the wheel is going to be taken. The tracing point is now, it is going to be moved in a clockwise direction. Okay, it is going to be moved along the clockwise direction of the boundary till it is going to come again at the starting point. Then the final reading is going to be taken on a drum. Then the final reading which is going to be taken on a has to be taken on a drum. Okay, now how we need to measure the area by using your planimeter is, we will be using the formula, that is area is equal to m into bracket f minus I plus or minus 10n plus c. Okay, we will be using the formula A is equal to m into f minus I plus or minus n plus or minus 10n plus c, where f is nothing but the final reading when your tracing arm is going to end its revolution, then it is going to have the final reading. I is the initial reading when we take the starting of the reading. N is the number of times the zero mark of the dial which is going to pass the fixed index. Okay, which is going to pass the fixed index. Now we need to take, okay, we need to take the positive sign. If we are here, I have mentioned the sign as either it is going to be positive or negative. If we use a positive sign if the zero of the mark of the dial passes the index in the clockwise direction. If your zero mark of the dial passes the index in the clockwise direction, and if it is going to move in a negative direction, then we need to take in a negative sign if it is going to move in an anti-clockwise direction. M is nothing but the multiplying constant. M is going to be nothing but your multiplying constant, and your C is nothing but the constant of the instrument. It is going to be multiplied by m, gives the area of the zero circle. Okay, now this formula we will be normally using. The constant C is to be added only when the anchor point is kept inside the area. Okay, if the anchor point is going to be kept inside the area, then only the C value has to be taken. Now this thing we need to keep in our mind when we will be solving the problems. Okay, now in the problems you are normally you will be given with this m, that is a multiplying planimeter constant. C is also given, f and I will also be given. This is what how the planning meter is going to be going to work. Now in your examination regarding this planimeter, they may ask you explain the working principle of a planimeter, they may ask. So you need to mention all these detail in your examination when you write about the planimeter. Okay, so this is going to be one of the very important aspect of your surveying. Now again we will be solving some of the problems on the planimeter. In the previous class we have seen how to calculate the area and volume. Now we will see how the area can be measured by using the planimeter. By having some of the problems, we will be solving some of the problems in the next class for the planimeter problems. Okay, so we will discuss in the next class. Thank you.